What's going on, Wild family? Today, I have an exciting story to tell you. We're going to be meeting a person that I believe is super unique in the e-bike niche. We're going to be driving up to Central Florida, specifically Avon Park, and we're going to be taking these two bikes. Why? Because we're going to be meeting Tommy, the e-bike guy. If you're not familiar with Tommy, the e-bike guy, highly recommend you go to his YouTube channel. Basically what he does, he takes normal bikes or pedal bikes, like we like to refer them in the industry, and convert them into high-speed e-bikes. And he calls them the Tommy bike. And Tommy's going to do two things for me. Number one, we're going to do a full conversion kit on the Annioki. If you guys follow the channel, you know that I love this bike, but it's just not fast enough. I am addicted to speed. So we're gonna add a 5,000 watt motor. We're gonna kit it out and turn this bike into a speed machine. We already know it has the distance, right? Next, what we're gonna do is with my MOVCAN. As you guys know, again, if you follow the channel, I really love this bike, but it doesn't have the necessary range that I need. I did some mods. I increased the cranks to get me some more range, but I still want more range. So Tommy has built a battery, a 48 volt, 60 amp battery to add to the 20 amp battery to the top. So we should have a total of 80 amp hours on this bike. So we're gonna head up there. We're gonna meet Tommy. We're gonna interview Tommy. I think you're gonna love what he has to say. So stay tuned. All right, well, family, I am here in Avon Park, super excited. Two things. Finally, I get a chance to meet Tommy. If you don't know who he is, as I mentioned before, he is the e-bike guy, especially here in Central Florida. He is all about mods and creating his own DIY bikes, e-bikes that is, right? So he's gonna be modifying my two bikes. We're gonna add a huge battery to the MOVCAN, and we're going to add a whole new kit to the Annioki AQ77, because as you guys know, I love the bike, but it's just too damn slow for me. So what we're gonna be doing now is we're gonna be heading over here and we're gonna interview him and get to know him as best as we can in the short amount of time I have with him. Come along.
That's my son. That's he might get it.
I saw that, yeah.
So I just built this one.
Now that's a 72?
Yeah, 72.
Yeah, so you're the ones in the 80s, right?
I'm the only one that's 84. Yeah.
84.
Have the EV cells, which are these. So this one have 576 of those.
Oh, wow.
So these cells put out 125 amps a piece, continuous. So I have 24 of these in parallel. So they put like 30 amps.
Wow.
Well, the owner wanted a Black Panther theme, made by MO3 POV.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I like that, yeah.
Put the fenders and everything on it, so it's...
Now, you didn't create this, you had...
my boy,
yeah.
Maurice, he's on his YouTube channel. He makes the battery bags for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But everything else I make myself.
Okay. I guess you'll keep this one for a little bit to do the
Do you
kit.
have the battery for that one?
Yeah, I got everything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because now, since I got it here, I'm trying to figure out where should I put the controller at.
Because right now the controllers are here. Everything's in here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
I have because we're doing a 4-driver controller now. It's a little
okay,
bit bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of space in here. I don't know how big the controller is, but there's plenty of space here. Because the only other spot to put it, but I think it's going to be too big. It's right underneath here.
That might work right up on here because it is pretty thin. It is pretty. It's just wide. I have to show you when y'all get ready to go. So this is a dual motor. Now we're not going to be. We're still going to keep the front, but we're not going to be using it. Right. But we're going to be using the 5,000 watt hub motor and stock battery. It's going to be way faster than it was. Two-wheel. It's more like a powerful lithium battery. It's 40 volt, 60 amp hour battery. So it's just going to have to just the battery might need a battery bag for it because it's going to fit right in here. Don't say, but you want to know. Yeah. So because this is the same thing on this one. The controller's in here. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Or like I said, we can move the controller back here as well. Because it's not super thick. Yes. The controller is pretty small. But you tell me how we can do it, and if we don't have on the battery, does it have a bracket to? No, because it's a high performance 40 volt battery, so it doesn't. Just a brick. So we just. So it's like I had to show you. It's a part like a battery order for power lithium. It's just like that, but it's a high amp. It's a high amp battery. Yeah. Well. So it's going to run in tandem with this one, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to have. Dang, that's like how many amp hours this is? This is 20. 20? So we're at 80, total of 80. Now, question on that. So, because I don't really want to take a tremendous amount of your time. So, is this something that we have to leave as well, or can we do this today and record that? Speed and everything. She likes speed. When they getting these bikes, it's addictive. Oh, and I want everybody to know that this stuff is addictive. So everybody keep calling me. Everybody calls me, they email me and call me, say, hey man, I want my bike to do 50 miles an hour or whatever. Now I tell them, the first thing I tell them, this stuff is expensive. The faster you want to go, the more expensive things get. You got to get more quality batteries, you got to get a quality controller, and you got to get a quality motor. The people in China, they're going to charge you because they know it's a high commodity. Yeah. People want that. It's like I want to say you can blur this out if you want to, but it's like heroin. It's an addiction. Listen, trust me. I when I started, so I have had e-bikes for a long time, but I had your standard class 2, class 3 e-bikes. The moment I got on a, and back then it was a 52 volt bike that took me up to 41 miles an hour. I got hooked. I was like, okay, that's it. And since then, now I have 50, 60. I mean, sky's the limit. So I've been hooked on it. So I 1000% understand what you're talking about. So let me do this. I'm gonna have these guys take this bike off, and then while they're taking this off, we can do the interview real quick. Family, I am finally here, super excited. I'm going to let Tommy, aka E-Bike Guy, introduce himself. Tommy, tell us who you are and what you're about. Well, I am Tommy. My real name is Tommy Litte, and I am the E-Bike Guy, creator of the YouTube channel, the E-Bike Guy, and I specialize in e-bikes.
Now, Tommy, tell me, first of all, what got you interested in e-bikes in general? What got you into this?
The funny coincidence. The funny thing is that when I was diagnosed with diabetes, okay, and I didn't even know I was even diagnosed with diabetes. I was, and I went to the doctor and they said, man, you got to go and exercise a little more. And I just started seeing people on e-bikes. I mean, similar like stock e-bikes, like the Anokei, for instance, but there was like electric XPs, and I was like, man, I want an e-bike. So I started looking at different e-bikes, and I'm like $800. I was like, I can't afford that right now. And come around, that tax time come around, and I finally got myself. I went on Amazon. I got a 52-volt Halon battery and a regular, like an NV Power 3,000 watt kit, and I put it together with pedal assist, and I've been riding around for a little bit. I liked that for a long time, and I started to like it. And I was like, wow, these e-bikes are fast. At the time, 42 miles an hour was fast on that e-bike, and I was scared. I mean, seriously, it was. I was tucking everything, and I got that thing. 52 volts, guys. So 52 volts at about 80 amps, and on a 29-inch wheelbase, a wheel frame, that I got about 40 miles an hour, and I was like, wow, that's fast. That was like, I thought I didn't really need to upgrade to anything else until I got beat by 110cc dirt bike. It's time to upgrade. And yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. That's the first video I made, was that e-bike. So it's on a 29-inch swing, Axon DP frame from Walmart. That thing was like, at the time, like $500.
Let me give you some context, guys. So when I discovered e-bike, or Tommy here, one of the things that I quickly learned is that he takes a regular bike and does what is referred to as the DIY e-bike guy, because he'll take a regular bike and make it better than this purchased bike from Annioki, right? So that was piqued my interest. But let's backtrack a little bit, because how did you even know how to create a DIY bike?
It's just crazy. I had a little background of welding. I went to school when I was 16 years old for like welding up in Winter Haven, Richmond, Tech, and I did that for about 5 or 6 months in fabricating. Right. So then I went to another job for sheet metal fabricating. I was building trailers and stuff like that. So I had a little bit of background experience in welding. So I started off in aluminum, just aluminum frames at first. And I come to realize that steel was better than aluminum because of the fact that steel was a little bit tougher than aluminum. Yes, aluminum is lightweight, but it's also weak, especially when you're adding a high power system on it. And therefore, just been on YouTube University, because you can learn a lot from YouTube.
I like that. YouTube, remember that, guys. YouTube University, for me personally, I'm in the same boat. Dude, everything's there for you. Everything's there on YouTube. Go ahead.
Yes, everything. And then, when I was riding, I had up that same e-bike from the 3,000 watt NV Power to a 2S205 on 29-inch, and it got really scary then. And and I feel a lot of people saying wear the helmet. And I said, man, maybe they're right, because the aluminum frame and everything. And I was like, man, maybe let's just get a steel frame, you know what I mean? And I went and got a steel frame. The first frame was an outroad bicycle frame from Amazon. I ordered it, and I liked it because it had a large triangle. And I was like, maybe if I can make it larger, because now I have the speed I want. What about the range? Yeah. So we're rocking 20 amp hour batteries, and now 20 amp hour battery was pretty good a couple years ago. Now we're rocking like 40 amp hours, like the new standard. You know what I mean? So when I bought that on-road bike, I was like, well, what can I do to make this the frame bigger to fit this battery? Because I built the battery before I built my frame. And okay, let's backtrack though, because
I would have no idea how to build a battery. Oh. So let's start there. Okay, how did you figure out how to build that battery?
Oh my goodness. And it was trial and tribulations when it came to build batteries, because batteries are not cheap. They're not cheap, especially when you're trying to do a high capacity, high discharge pack. And I was brought to one of my he was a subscriber, and he was supposed to be a friend. He didn't want to introduce me to the Molicel P42As.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I was already familiar with series and parallels because of my RC background. So I did with RC cars for a long time, with the light bulbs and everything, and then with the power stereo system for the cars, when you're running two 12-volt batteries in parallel to get a 12-volt battery at about 60 to 70 amp hours to power your high power stereo. So I was like, I started off as a small pack, 6S pack.
Right.
See how that goes in parallel. And then, as you know, that I got better over the time, but at the time, you know, I was doing it the way I thought was good, but was running into like current issues, you know what I mean, like overheating issues with the pack, and was burning the nickel strip. But I started off small, and I was like, well, I want to do this first, and I had some dead cells. I had cells that didn't work, so I wanted to start off small with that, and I brought a small DIY spot welder. It was called a Decorate. It's also on my YouTube channel that I did reviews on that, and it did good up to 0.2. After that, it was done. It was like you spot welding, it was just the nickel strips coming off. But I started off small at that, and then I said, well, what if I can make these and this and this, you know? And I kept doing it. I kept putting those cells together, connecting those to that cell, and then I said, oh, this basically, if you got 21 cells together, that's like one big cell. And then you just connect that one big cell to another set of big cells, 21P. And then now you have a 2P design of 2S 21P, you know, pack. So, and then I just connected those together, but smaller parallel. And that's how I got that 57 amp hour pack, 72 volts.
And just to be clear, because I want to be clear on this, like this is all learning on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go to some university and they taught you how. Freaking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, guys, if my channel is all about you guys really making money, saving money, and just reinventing yourself, right? Prime example right here. Learned a lot of this stuff on his own on YouTube University. So let's expand that. You figured out how to make a battery. You have some welding experience. You have the bike. What do you do next?
Yeah. Oh, and I want to just clarify. It was confusing. I did buy a 72 volt 40 amp hour, quote 40 amp hour battery from AliExpress until it kicked the bucket on me, and that's when I tore it open and I saw how they did it, and that's basically how I copied it too. You know what I mean? So I copied it from what the guys in China did too. You know what I mean? So. And that's how I started making those packs and everything. So I wanted to clarify that for you. So sorry about that. So what's the other question you had?
Yeah, so you got the battery now. You have the bike. What did you do next? Because you mentioned that you expanded a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about like the welding of
Welding of it, yes.
Yeah. So what happened was I just chopped that top tube off.
Okay.
I said I'm gonna go there. I chopped the top tube off, and I fit the battery on the bottom of the bike frame, and I was like, well, let me see if I can, I made a template with brought some 1 inch square tubing from Home Depot, and I just I made my weld from here, and then I stopped where my battery went down towards the seat post, and I just connected it there. Now that was just a first generation connection. Now I cut slits and bend it, so it still have that rigidity. It still had that strength instead of just cutting the whole thing off and then attaching it with a weld. Now I just cut it and then bend it like that, and then it was successful. Have no issues with it, yeah. No damage. And I ride that bike off road and everything. Even my heavy bike, I ride off road and everything with it, because I like to test my frames. I'd rather if anything happens, I want it to happen to me instead of somebody else,
So you built your first bike, right? And then from there, what happened after that? After you were successful with your first bike, what caused you to continue to try to expand?
Well, when I first did a speed run of 73 miles an hour, I was very excited, and then I felt that adrenaline rush, And the only thing that really kicked it off was we started doing a speed run, and that's when my stepson Andrew came in the picture. And I was just sitting in the living room. I was working on somebody else's battery. I was sitting in the living room, and he came back and said he did 92 miles an hour. And I was like, what? Oh boy, we gotta go do it. So I heard him and grabbed my phone. We went to a local destination where we can do a speed run, and that's when we actually recorded at 92 miles an hour.
Guys, I need you guys to really grasp what he just said. He went 92 miles an hour on a DIY e-bike. You can't, again, I'm going to go back to these already fabricated bikes. You know, right now, I think the the Wired Predator is probably the fastest production bike available, and that only goes up to like 65 miles an hour. 92 miles an hour on a DIY bike? First of all, I've seen all the videos, confirmed that what he's saying is true. Later on, if we're lucky, we're probably going to see, which is your current bike? What do you call it now?
Just the Icon.
The Icon. He's going to demonstrate his speed run on that Icon, but super, super impressed of what this man is able to do on a DIY bike. So let's talk about what we're going to be doing to these two bikes. I brought him the Annioki A77, because as you guys know, I love the bike, but it's just too damn slow, and I'm addicted to speed. So tell me what you plan on doing with this bike.
Okay, so with the Anokei right here, so we're going to be keeping the stock battery. It's a 52 volt, and I believe it's like 60 amp hours, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, 60 amp hours.
60 amp hours. Well, that is good enough for about between 60 amps. And probably can get a little bit more out of it according to the BMS. So what we're going to be doing is hooking this bad boy up to a far driver controller. So what we have here,
it's right here.
Okay, so what we have here is a far driver 260 controller. This is an 80 amp controller with 260 phase. It is very compact. That's one thing I like about far drivers. Unlike the other controllers you get, it is a very compact controller, and then it has a built-in heat sink to dissipate the heat off the controller itself. And this is a very powerful controller. Even the 7235 controller that's on my daughter's e-bike can actually propel me, and I'm at 230 pounds, up to about 28 miles an hour. And that's pretty impressive. So this is what we're going to be using on his bike. Also, we have a 5,000 watt. A lot of people like the dual motor setup because they, like to go off-road and whatnot, and it gets more traction. But with this motor right here, that's almost twice as much power as those dual motors together.
This heavy beast, my beautiful people. Oh shoot! I just look.
Yeah. So it has the E-bikeguy logo on it, so you know that it comes from a reputable company.
I love that. I love that, guys. This is a heavy ass motor. So okay, cool. Now he just mentioned something about the dual motor and or versus single motor, right? Guys, I am not a fan of dual motor bikes. If you are in a place like the Georgia mountains that I just tested the testway on, then yes, man, you probably might need a dual motor bike. But it's been my experience that single motor bikes handle better, ride better, and you have less issues when you have a single motor bike, which is why I'm super happy that I'm going to be, even though it's going to have that front motor still there, but we're just going to be operating off that real motor. So what's your thought on single motors? That's my opinion, but let me hear your opinion on dual motor bikes.
Yeah, and then I completely agree. Out here where I stay at, we have a lot of the soft sand. We call it sugar sand. Dual motors, you can get a little traction out of those, because I have a high power motor myself, and it likes to dig in that soft sand. But it's more suitable for on-road than it is off-road. Now, I do take my motor off-road, but you run into a lot of issues with a dual motor setup, First of all, you have power consumption. Now you have to power two motors instead of one. Another issue is the front fork. I like to, I'm very weird with the front fork, and I don't want nothing to happen, like if the wheel starts to fall off the fork, if the torque comes not right, then you can run into issues like that, So in my mind, in my opinion, and I'm saying this in my opinion, that I think it's a little bit unsafe, to run a dual motor setup unless you really, really have this button down. But these motors are not as powerful as the ones that I'm running, even as the MB Power 5,000 watt motor as well. This is almost twice as powerful as a dual motor setup, and it's going to be running off the stock battery. So, but like I say, I love the single motor setup. When you even listen, this motor, the QS205, the QS273, all for bicycle motors, you can go in the Himalayas and this thing will just run up that hill just as fast as any moped or motorcycle,
Yeah, and, I like that, and I 100% agree. I am not a big fan, as I mentioned already, of dual motor e-bikes. I really prefer single motor. I get it. I understand why they exist, but when you're operating a high-powered rear motor like this one, there's no need for that front motor. So I agree with that. Now let's move over to this bike here. And this bike, as you guys mentioned, I love the bike. I just need a little bit more range. Tell me what you did for this bike.
Now this one is a range defender e-bike that we're going to be making. So we're going to be ditching the battery in the middle frame. So we're going to take that battery off. We have a custom 48 volt 60 amp hour battery that we're going to be adding to this e-bike and run it in parallel with the tank battery on the top. That's going to give it a total of 90 amp hours. That is incredible range right there for 48 volts. So you can pretty much go all day. You know, if you're living in Miami Beach, you probably go from there to all the way to the Key West and back on the charge.
And it's interesting he just said that, right? Because that is going to be my next adventure. I'm going to be riding from Miami to Key West on an e-bike, and this will probably be the bike I'm going to be using. So stand by, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, because that adventure that he just mentioned, and we didn't script this, he just brought it up, because that's what I plan on doing with this bike with the new battery. So super excited about that. So stay tuned for that. So go a little bit more detail. So the battery itself, describe the battery. What kind of cells are in the batteries?
Now they are Sunvolt, so they 4.2 amp hours. The maximum continuous charge of those is about 15 amps. We have 13 of those in parallel, and it's a 13P. So it's a 13P, 13 as setup, so 48 volts, 60 amp hours, and it's going to be running in parallel with the one on the top. And it's not only going to give 90 amp hours, but it's going to actually give it more discharge amps too. So he can pretty much upgrade if you want to down the road, So just make it sense. So that battery that we have, the battery I made, has a 70 amp BMS 80 amp BMS with a 100 amps peak for about 15 seconds.
So right now, guys, just so you know, all we're doing on this bike is just upgrading the battery. We're not doing anything else, keeping the same control, etc. But what he just mentioned is what I really like about it. If I wanted to, tell me what else can I do to upgrade the bike?
He can upgrade the motor and the controller, as he going to do with his Anokei. He can actually go a little bit more powerful just because of the dual battery setup that he's running, plus my custom battery that's going in the frame. He can actually run up to a far driver 360 controller if he wants, with a 5,000 watt hub motor.
And that would, if I do that, that would give me an idea of what am I increasing? Torque, speed, top end speed? What am I increasing?
You're going to be increasing, mostly on 48 volts, you will be increasing a lot of acceleration. You actually cannot run this on acceleration goes.
Really?
Yes, and it won't be far off. This will probably be even faster than this, just because of the high power controller.
Yeah.
And the hub motor. So it's going to be, and that's crazy. And that's crazy that, even you can get those the more amps you have. So say if you got 50 volt here, the 40 volt, but this is only 80 amps, but this is 150 amps. You're gonna even go faster than the 52 volt setup.
That is super exciting. Tell me, what do you have any besides this that you're currently working on? Any other major projects are you working on right now?
Yes, I'm actually working on another 100-mile-an-hour e-bike that's currently in my shed, and I do have the Black Panther e-bike that I just finished up. Exactly, the customer will be here tomorrow to test it out as well.
100-mile-an-hour e-bike. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yes. That is insane. All right, guys, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna roll out his e-bike. We'll take a quick look at that. And like I said, if we're lucky, depending on time, we'll try to do a speed run. But I appreciate you guys watching, but don't go away, guys. We'll be able to do a especially being self-taught. You know, that's
definitely.
That's very impressive.
Puts his mind to it.
Yeah. So let's get my bike out. I gotta move your bike out the way.
I saw you the recent video with you and the bike.
My new bike? Yes. I was actually really impressed with my upgrade. So
nice.
Way smoother.
Yeah. They have the QS205 on this one as well. And 24 inches. So I made this because so that like ladies such as her, even you can get on this bike and ride. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be on your tippy toes. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna do a new model as a 24, the Tommy Bike 24. But it's based off the Junior Pros that I built. I sold a lot of those, the Junior Pros.
Oh yeah.
Like say for this one, that's a Junior Pro. I didn't sold a lot of those.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 10 of those, and I've been shipping them across the nation. To be honest.
Yeah, I just noticed that yours. I mean, these here are 26x4, right?
Yes.
26x4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All the 26x4 except for E-bikeguy. Hers 20x4 and Jacoy is 20x4. But the fat tires are more stable.
Yeah.
I came to realize that when I was riding my Schwinn 29er, and it felt switching from that to this is more stable, even off road. I love it. We go trail rides and man, and I feel safer, to be honest. I feel a lot safer. But we're gonna go ahead and get this.
Yeah, let's
That's dirty. I rode it yesterday. Yeah, it's dirty. It's like, you know.
We're waiting on battery bags for both of our bikes.
Yeah, I gotta send this off to Maurice. I always start off with the duct tape. Everybody likes it, but it's DIY. This is the pinnacle of DIY.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not here to make it look pretty for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Long as it's functional, long as it's not giving eating hazardous. You know, like far as the rideability.
Yep.
You know, it's worked for me. You know, and the stabilized location. It took months to realize. Instead of putting it here, to where when you turn, this metal rod comes out and it obstructs your pedaling. So I located it at the bottom, and now I can turn it, and now I don't have to worry about it being.
So explain this. So this you named it, but explain why did you add this to the bike?
Okay, so this bike, not only this bike, hers, and the rest of them in there are capable of very high speeds. And you riding on these roads, they're not perfectly smooth.
Right.
You're gonna have some bumps. So to alleviate the bump steer, which is what this prevents, you add the stabilizer. So you can go up to 90, 100 miles an hour and don't have to worry about the handlebars snatching from your. And then also too, I added some weights. If you can see right down there, there's
the balancer, right?
The balancer. Yeah. So I had to add that. So at 60 miles an hour, I was getting vibration from the front end. So in order to do that, I spin it up in the air, turn the wheel, and then the wheel started to slowly come back with a heavier side, and you just add the weight on the opposite side. You repeat the process until if you let go of the wheel and it stays still, the wheel's balanced.
Yeah.
So I took it up about 65 miles an hour. It was.
Now actually, I think this is really the first time I've ever seen somebody actually put a weight to balance that, especially that front tire.
Mm-hmm.
You see that a lot in race cars and regular cars. That's how they balance the tire. So interesting that you did it on the bike. Walk me through that thought process, because I don't think very people actually ever thought about that.
I don't know. You know what? It just started. My gears in my head started turning because I really got tired of that front end vibration. After 65 miles an hour, it stops. But man, when you travel between 55 and 60, it's real bad. I'm like, man, something got to be done. And I saw a video on YouTube, like I say, YouTube University, where a guy was doing the same thing, but it was doing it to a regular bicycle. And I just said, well, what if I can do this to an e-bike? And that's what I came up. I ordered some weights from Amazon, and one is not enough, so I had to cut one in half, and that just equaled it out. You know what I mean?
I see that. Now, what's the difference between this balancer that you put on here and what Wire has put on their bikes with the hellbenders? Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with that. I ain't never knew they did that.
Yeah, so they Wired was infamous for having high-speed wobbles on their bike. So one of the things that they did, instead of doing this, they put what's called a hellbender to the front of the fork, which I can tell from yours is much easier to turn. What that hellbender does, it makes the bike super stiff in the front.
Ooh.
So I'm not a super big fan of it, but it does alleviate that high-speed wobble. Before we go on, go ahead.
Yeah, and then if you so right now it's in the a little bit on the stiff side, but you can also turn it down to be completely like a bike. You know, it can turn easily. You know, and that's if you were traveling slow, you're around the lake, you just have fun. But then when you want to go on the highway, or you know you want to go somewhere fast, you turn it up. I like it around my 7, around my 7, 8 and 9, 10. That's really stiff. Feel like it. So
I wanted to ask you because I see that you have my favorite tires on the bike.
What? Oh man, go ahead.
So tell me why that you chose this tire. What's your thoughts on this tire? Why do you have this tire on the bike?
Okay. So you know what? I'm just going to just give you from step by step from the beginning, because I was running these.
Right.
Because those would actually come on the bike, and Angelo. We did a top speed run at 98 miles an hour on those stock setup, and what was going on is that the tire was coming off the rim at the time we were doing a speed run. So I was like, there's got to be a better tire, and started looking on Amazon, and I was searching for like a dirt bike type of tire, and I saw the Allscapes and they said heavy duty motorcycle tire, and I said, well, I'm gonna order some. And then my buddy wanted some too, so he ordered before I did. And when they came to my house, and I just felt it, and I was like, "Whoa, this tire is hard." Hold on, I'm gonna go give you a sample. I got one.
I like it. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, pay attention, guys, because and specifically to that one guy that commented on my video saying that by touching the tire, I didn't just touch the tire, guy. And the stock tires that come on these e-bikes are freaking horrible, man. That's why I change them. Some of you guys are telling me that I'm wasting my money. I am telling you, it's my opinion, and I'm hearing from another guy that's well-versed on tires, on high-speed e-bikes. Stock tires are horrible, guys. You need to get a quality tire. Go ahead on the tire.
Okay, now this is the same thing as Allscape, but this is another name, Universe, and they both the same type of compound tire, which is actually made by Black Cat. If you go on Amazon, they have these tires also with no name on them too. That's on my currently on my son's bike. But let me tell you something. I've proven these tires can do 100 miles an hour. We did it before. I did it myself, even though I'm chicken, but I did it, and I really stand by these tires. And I was going to do a review, and I actually was going to reach out to Allstate and say, look, man, I just did 100 miles an hour on your tire, man. You might want to rake these up a little bit.
Listen, if you guys are watching, number one, reach out to him. In fact, sponsor him.
Yeah.
Because, but listen, I 1000% agree with you. I actually I've talked about it a lot, about these tires and how good they are, and why you should change them and not stay with the stock tires. Now again, if you are only riding, class 2, class 3, and you're only staying in your neighborhood and not doing much, stay with stock tires. But if you're like me and you're addicted to speed and you're going to be riding a lot, get a quality. Dude, it's for me, it's a no-brainer. Get a quality tire.
Mm-hmm. Another thing too, I'd like to say for y'all too. Nobody don't like changing tires. So this has a better wear resistance than those stock tires. They're gonna wear down. Like, listen, when I first did my a speed run on my bike at 73 miles an hour, I was saying 3 days. There was already bald. Yeah. But when I got these, I can ride these. I mean, this tire been on my bike for about 8 months now, and my bike's at almost at 107 horsepower. So it's really durable, really durable. And like I say, every one of these bikes is going to get them. Now they have them at 24 inches. They didn't have them in 24 inches. Now they do.
They do. I got them.
Yeah. So I'm going to be putting her bike with them, and then that MOVCAN engine over there with them. So all of my bikes is going to have this tire right quick. You know, they do have different designs too. So you don't have to necessarily get this. They have tires for just strictly on road. So we're versatile. So we ride on and off road. So that's why I just choose these right here. But man,
I love that. I love that because you just vindicated me, buddy. Because I talked about it and I got people saying, "Oh, you're wasting your money. That's bull crap. You can't tell them." No, listen. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that thinks that these are better tires. And I actually did an actual test. I weighed them. I actually did some puncture tests with them compared to the standard tires, and night and day, real fact. So let's continue here. So I see that that's huge, guys. So tell me about that.
Okay. So at the bottom is a 4-driver controller. Now this is a 96 1800 controller. So it's 800 battery amps. So battery amps at 800 amps come out of this controller, mode 3, and then in turns put out 1800 phase to this motor. Now the QS273 is a very powerful motor, but it really cannot handle the 1800. So I just actually have it on mode 2, which is around about 1100 phase amps and about 500 DC amps. But on mode 3, at that power, it calculates up to 107 horsepower, 80,000 watts. That's what this bike can put out. So I am going to be getting a new motor, but I can't reveal it yet. But I will be getting a new motor on this bike with a propeller over 105 miles an hour.
Wow. Yeah. Don't spend a whole lot of time, but talk a little bit about the motor since you're getting a new one. But let's talk about the motor itself.
So on the back, this is a QS273. Now this is a bicycle motor because it uses a bicycle freewheel, and also fits on a bicycle with a 150 millimeter dropout width, and it's a 40H, so it's narrow, but it's a lot taller than a QS-Q05. But this is subject to run a lot stronger, so it doesn't heat up as much. This motor can take a lot of power. Now remind you, this is only 4,000 watt nominal. This thing can handle without stress. I am actually putting over 50,000 watts on this motor, so it's pretty good motor. So if y'all power hungry junkies out there really want to get serious with the e-bikes, go ahead and get the QS273. Now it is heavier than the 5,000 watt home motor that we actually going to be putting on the Anokei, but the power makes it up. I mean, it feels like a totally different. It's a beast, and I recommend this to anybody that just wants to. I mean, this motor is capable of 100 miles an hour.
We did on my motor goat. My mini goat. I added a 60 amp hour battery, so it's total just like this. It's going to be 90 hours battery, and they told me no, you're not going to get more speed, and I got more speed. And I was able to hold at 65 miles an hour much longer than I originally had it. So I get it. We're not changing anything else. It's just the amperage. But
yeah, and the voltage is going to stay up higher.
Higher. That's the key.
That's why you'll hold your top speed higher.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's the reason why this one's going to be a lot better than what it is currently in those two batteries, because we have a more powerful battery at the bottom, and running in tandem with this one, it's going to be very reliable, and it's going to last a long time.
All right, let me one last request. I don't know if you guys are available. If you guys are hungry, you want me? I would love to invite you for lunch.
You can go. He's still sleeping.
Okay. Yeah, I told you, Corey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Broken child.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go? This is your neighborhood. This is your hood. You tell me what's good around here, and I'm buying. So let's finish off on that. So just recap what you were talking about the weld.
Okay. So I had to make some improvements. I usually didn't have no gussets, so So since this battery is heavy, this battery is at 100 pounds. So I had to add some gussets to the top tube for it to stay reliable without it breaking or folding in half on me. So I had to add some gussets for the headset to this top tube. Now this is like a 2-inch, and it's a channel. So it's channel metal from Home Depot, and it's actually been trimmed here, and you bend it, you fold it. So instead of cutting and welding, which would be a little bit weaker, we just actually fold it down go running and run seamlessly into the rear of the bike, and then have a gusset here, and then we have a gusset here, and there's a gusset down here where the bottom bracket at, and they just want to just have it, you know, more reliable and just more sturdy. But it accommodates the battery. I want to be really close to the battery as possible without no gaps, so that way when I do get a battery bag, it have enough gap for the battery bag to fit, but not enough that it's you know, it's flopping all over the place, you know.
And then my last question that I have for you. So the motor comes with the actual kit, or this display and the other stuff is separate to that, or
Everything was separate.
everything's separate? So you bought everything individual, and you were able to make it mesh and work.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Even the display. So display is dirty, but this display has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So I used to use this for, like, you know, mapping and everything. So I keep it on the map when I'm around here, so I know where I'm at.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Last thing, tell me 2 things about this bike that is, I mean, I was going to say what's extremely unique about it. We already know what's unique about it. But 2 things that you really like about the bike, and 1 thing that you wish you can do better.
Oh, yeah. So the one thing that I wish I could do better is the controller. I have a cover for the controller. I really don't like it exposed. And I'm working on that with my boy Mike at Cognition Designs over in California. We're going to be working on making a cover for it. And also, that's the only thing that I can actually see bad about this bike. And the one unique thing that I love about this bike is it's powerful. It is powerful. It is. Hey, listen, this thing, it cannot run a Harley Davidson. I'm just going to tell you flat out.
So when you say powerful, we know the top end speed is insane. How about the torque on it?
Oh, it will lift the front wheels up. It will lift the front wheels on mode 2 at about 97 volts. Between 97 and 96 volts, I can go out here and stab the throttle in the front wheels. It will actually lift up. So it has some crazy power. It's very powerful, and I love it. I think there's an ending point in the addiction, though. I mean, once you get there, it's you know, you're good to go. You know, but when you start from the bottom, that's when the addictive start part. You have that withdrawal symptoms. You know what I mean? You want more. You got to get the QS more. You got to get a bigger battery. You know what I mean? Now, I want power, but now when I got the range and power, oh my God! I mean, I can rock for days.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, it truly is an addiction. Especially, I know for me, it's a huge addiction. I mean, I love that range and power. That's my ultimate search and goal every single day is what I'm looking for. All right, my beautiful people. Before we close, do me a big favor, Tommy. Tell us, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Okay, so the best way to get a hold of me is just to email me, okay, at theebikeguy08@gmail.com. From there, we can talk about what you want, how fast you want to go. Then after that, then I give you my phone number, my business number, so you can contact me whenever you have questions. But the only way to get a hold of me right now on YouTube is go on my YouTube page under my description, and then you'll see my email address at theebikeguy08@gmail.com.
Guys, I'm going to have his information in the description below, but if you have any questions, comments, please list them below. Now, again, stay tuned. We'll see if we get lucky and check this.